That little brown bottle under your sink costs about $1. Detailers charge you $200 to $300 a year fixing problems that same bottle clears in 20 minutes. Most people only think of hydrogen peroxide as the thing you pour on a scraped knee. Anybody who's detailed cars for a living knows exactly what else it does. They just don't bring it up because a musty interior, a stained seat, a car that smells like the inside of a gym bag, that's a paying appointment. 11 of them. Number 7 is the one that can save you from a $500 repair bill. And I'll also tell you two things it flat out does not do, because half of what gets claimed about this stuff online is wrong. I'd rather you know which half before you waste an afternoon. Here's the whole mechanism, and once you understand it, you'll know exactly which mess in your car it's right for and which ones it isn't. Hydrogen peroxide is water carrying one extra oxygen atom. That atom is unstable, and the second it touches something biological, bacteria, mold, organic residue, it breaks the stuff apart at a chemical level. Then it falls apart itself into plain water and oxygen. No fumes, no residue. Which also means it has a hard limit. It's brilliant on anything alive or once alive. It does nothing to mineral deposits and nothing to petroleum-based grime. Keep that one sentence in your head and you'll never be confused about when to reach for it. Number 1, cup holders. Every car has that sticky ring where soda's dried a dozen times, and underneath the stick there's usually a thin film of mold, especially in a car that sits in a hot parking lot all summer. Half a cup straight in, let it sit 10 minutes, and wipe with a rag. The smell and the ring go together. Number 2, cloth seat stains. Coffee, sweat, the odd ketchup packet disaster. These are organic stains, exactly what this stuff is built for. Blot the excess first, spray it on, let it sit 5 minutes, and blot again with a clean cloth. Test an inch of hidden seat first, always on dyed fabric. Number 3, seatbelt webbing. Nobody ever cleans this, and it holds on to years of sweat. A light spray, work it in with an old toothbrush, and let it air dry fully before you retract it. Dry matters. A seatbelt that retracts wet just grows the smell back inside the spool. Number 4, carpet and floor mats after a wet spill's been sitting. A dropped drink, a wet dog, or a leaky water bottle that soaked into carpet fiber for a week before anyone noticed. That's exactly the damp, dark, organic environment mold wants. Spray, work it into the fibers with a brush, and this is the one where a wet vac or a fan afterward genuinely matters, because a carpet that's damp again the next day just restarts the whole problem. Number 5, the trunk liner, especially around the spare tire well. This is the most commonly missed spot in any car, because a slow trunk seal leak drips there for months before it shows up as a smell. Pull the carpet liner if you can, spray the well underneath, and actually check the drain channel around the trunk seal while you're in there. If it's blocked, that's why the water's getting in. Number 6, the headliner. That's the fabric sealing of your car, and it holds moisture longer than anything else in the cabin because nobody ever touches it. Mist it lightly, don't soak it. Headliner fabric can sag if it gets too wet, so blot rather than scrub. Number 7, and this is the one I actually want you to remember because it's the difference between a 20-minute job and a genuine $500 repair. That musty smell that hits you the second the air conditioning kicks on isn't the vents. It's your evaporator core, a cold, wet component buried behind your dashboard that your air conditioning system runs across to chill the air. It stays damp between uses, sits in the dark, and mold sets up on it exactly the way it does in a shower corner. Every time the air conditioning starts, it blows that smell straight at your face. A dealership will often sell you one of two things for this. An ozone treatment, which can run $100 to $200 and treats the symptom rather than the source. Or, if they decide the core itself is too far gone, a full evaporator core replacement, which involves pulling half your dashboard apart and regularly runs $600 to $1,200 in labor alone. Most of the time, what's actually growing on there is the same biological film everything else on this list is built to kill. Find your cabin air filter, usually behind the glove box, and pull it. Most cars, that's a 5-minute job with no tools. With the filter out, you'll usually have a clear shot at the evaporator fins through the housing. Spray peroxide directly onto the fins, let it sit 15 minutes, and run the blower on high with the air conditioning off to help it dry and carry the residue down the condensate drain. The same drain that clears your air conditioning condensate line on a house. Here's the honest limit, and I want to be straight with you about it. If your evaporator is genuinely caked, not just filmed with mold, but packed solid with years of dust and biological buildup, spraying it from outside the housing won't fully reach it. and access varies a lot by make and model. Some cars make this a 5-minute job. In others, the housing is buried deep enough that you're better off letting a shop do a proper flush. But try this first. It costs you $1.20, and on most cars, it's the entire fix. Number 8, sanitizing your own reusable microfiber towels and applicator pads. Detailers go through bleach for this constantly, and bleach is genuinely hard on microfiber. It breaks down the fibers over repeated washes and shortens the life of a good towel. Soak used towels in a peroxide and water mix for 30 minutes before washing. It kills the same bacteria and doesn't chew up the fabric the way bleach does. Number 9, interior touch points, the steering wheel, door handles, and gear shift. Alcohol wipes are the standard here, and they work, but repeated use dries out and cracks plastic and vinyl trim over a couple years. That's why older rental cars often have that faded, slightly sticky dash. A diluted peroxide wipe disinfects without the same drying effect on trim. Now the two I promised you. The ones peroxide gets credit for online that it doesn't actually deserve. Number 10, hard water spots on your paint or windshield glass, the pale ring left behind after sprinkler water dries on the car. That's not organic. That's mineral, dissolved calcium left behind exactly the way it builds up on a shower door or in the bottom of a kettle. Peroxide is an oxidizer. It cannot dissolve a mineral because that isn't what oxidizing does. You'll spray it on, wipe, and the spots will still be there, and you'll walk away thinking the whole method's a scam when really you just used the wrong bottle. What actually works is a mild acid, white vinegar for light spots, or a dedicated water spot remover for anything that's been baking on in the sun for weeks. Number 11. Tree sap, tar, and squashed bugs. These are petroleum and protein-based residues that need an actual solvent to break the bond, isopropyl alcohol, or a dedicated bug and tar remover. Peroxide won't touch it, and scrubbing harder just risks marring your clear coat, trying to force something to work that was never going to. One caution that applies across this whole list. Test any painted surface in a small hidden spot first, and don't leave peroxide sitting on clear coat for extended periods in direct sun, since prolonged exposure and heat can affect some finishes over time. This stuff is mainly your interior tool: cloth, plastic, rubber, and glass. Be a little more careful with it near paint. And the same rule from every other video I've made with this bottle. Never mix it with vinegar or bleach. Together with vinegar, it forms parasitic acid, which is corrosive to your skin and lungs. One product at a time, always. If you want the full list of household tricks like this that turned out to be busted, I put 12 of them together in a free guide. The link's in the description, no charge, just an email. Here's what all 11 of these actually have in common. And it's worth remembering the next time you're standing in the detailing aisle looking at 40 different bottles. Nearly everything sold to you as a specialist product is really just one of 3 things in a fancier bottle. Something that kills biological growth, something that dissolves mineral, something that dissolves petroleum residue. 3 categories, 3 different chemistries, and no single spray does all 3, no matter what the label promises. The whole trick to detailing your own car for almost nothing isn't owning more bottles. It's knowing which of those 3 problems you're actually looking at before you reach for anything. Walter's verdict, 5 wrenches out of 5 on 9 of these. The 2 corrections earn a wrench on their own, but that's the point of telling you. A $4 bottle that handles 9 real jobs and 2 honest limits beats a detailing cart full of single-purpose sprays that all do roughly the same thing at 10 times the price. Go check your cup holders. I'll bet money you already know what you're going to find.